Welcome everyone back to another episode of Parkinson's Coast to Coast with your hosts, Glenn and George. I'm Sharon's son. You can see my co-host here, Glenn, in the beautiful Hawaiian weather today. But from Hawaii to Florida, Parkinson's awareness worldwide never rests. I know we're in April, the special month, to some, and really to get the world aware of Parkinson. But as Glenn, myself, and our incredible guest today know, Parkinson's awareness is really every month. It's 365 days a year, 24/7 for those battling Parkinson's, caregivers, and we need the world to be aware. So again, thanks everyone for your support, for joining us. And I'm going to throw the show to Glenn to introduce our really inspiring guest, somebody who I know, but consider family of my own.
Thank you, George. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Parkinson's Coast to Coast. Where I'm here in the beautiful island actually it's the big island of Hawaii. So we're on Hawaii Island, and I'm in the beautiful town of Hilo right now. So it's a little chilly this morning, but as you can see, I'm having a we're a jacket. I'm outside of my balcony, or as they call it in Hawaii, the lanai. And we're here with Kevin Lockette, who's the vice president of the Hawaii Parkinson Association. And Kevin, welcome.
Great, thank you. I'm not
Kevin,
cold.
yeah. You got the T-shirt on. That's better than I am. Tell us more about yourself and what you do for the Parkinson's community here in Hawaii.
So I've been working with Parkinson's for almost 30 years. Initially as a physical therapist for about 20 years. I've had some family members who had Parkinson's, and I've always been kind of a neurological-based physical therapist. So I just started working with some Parkinson's patients, and back in the day, believe it or not, the doctors would tell the Parkinson's patients not to exercise, which made no sense to me. Anyway, so I started working with Parkinson's patients, and here in Hawaii, we call it the coconut wireless. The word got around, and then before I knew it, 80–90% of my whole physical therapy caseload was Parkinson's patients. And I'm like, well, I have to up my game. Then I've got to do better. And so I did research. I did just literature reviews, and started exercise programs here in Hawaii. The first one we partnered with the YMCA's of Honolulu, and we got a $10,000 grant from back then the Hawaii Parkinson's Association to initiate training for all the personal trainers. We partnered with the YMCA because we needed a group that had trainers who could run group classes, and then the whole concept was that we would teach them the Parkinson's part of it. And that was, gosh, that was 20 years ago, and it's still going on. And not only is it on twice a week and all the YMCA's on Oahu, but it's also on Hilo and Maui, and it's spread. So that's kind of perpetuated. I wrote a book and did a DVD called "Move It" to further encourage physical activity. That was back in 2007, and I partnered with who just recently passed away last year. Wally Famous Amos was the narrator for that project, and so we continue to do that work. I've been running support groups for about 15 years, once a month. Then I kind of stepped down from the Parkinson's board and just ran support groups, and ended up coming back, and I'm glad I did. And I'm heading right now. The current project I'm working on is I know my background is a physical therapist, but I'm working on this exciting project to help people with Parkinson's with speech using the harmonica. And so we got a grant from the Parkinson's Foundation, and then Hawaii Parkinson's Foundation funded the remaining balance, and we are winding up a study. So we have a team of speech therapists and neurologists. We've done pre and post testing, and we are so we're going to be looking at the data here, and the end game is to hopefully have an evidence-based program that could be like a program in the box that can be emulated anywhere. So to my knowledge, I think we're going to be the first of its kind for a study. So Yeah, so exciting stuff, and it's been a fun journey.
But
So Kevin, yeah. So sorry, George, I didn't mean to step on you, but uh, so anyway, so Kevin, so how did you get it? How did you get the idea to use the harmonica as a means for therapy? And I was explaining to a friend last night that I understand you're a blues musician. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been playing blues, rock, country harmonica for about 20 some years. Yeah, yeah. So, well, working with Parkinson's patients, one of the things I've always noticed, and I always try to kind of talk about is speech, right? That's to me, like, speech is one of the first things that um, starts this pattern of isolation, right? So people can't hear you, so you talk less, you don't answer the phone, so you're not communicating, and it's just that kind of downward spiral with speech, and what statistically 90% of people that have Parkinson's will have speech issues over time, at some point in time, and those issues are softness of voice, so phonation, articulation, difficulties with pitch, and saliva management. And phonation, articulation, pitch, and saliva management even are things that you learn with playing the harmonica. So it just made complete sense to me. Gosh, why don't we put these two together? So I scheduled a coffee with Dr. Webb Ross, who's a fairly renowned neurologist researcher, and I pitched the idea. And when I was going into this meeting with Dr. Ross, I'm like, I'm just going to pitch it, and if he says, "Yeah, it's not worth it," then I'll just let it go. I pitched to him, and he got excited and says, "Oh, Kevin, this is fantastic. We got to do this." I'm going, "Oh gosh, okay." And it's because I've done a lot of projects and programs, but I haven't did a officially a study, right? And so I said, okay, the only way I'm going to do this is if you are the consultant, or come on with the project and guide us, because and so we wrote a grant. We're thinking, well, if I don't get the grant, we'll let it go too. Well, we got the grant, and then we had some hiccups, and HPA says, well, we'll fund this, the balance, because this is a good program. So yeah, so it just kind of snowballed into this beautiful snowman. we're kind of built it from the ground up, and but it's been great. I tell you what, we do it on Zoom. It's twice a week, and it's just a fun community, and I think the attendance has been great, right? So that makes me like, we have something here, right? So you can work on your speech, you can have community, you can have fun, and you have the gift of music. It's just it just seems like just a no brainer. So I'm excited to look at the data when we get that done. I'm excited to kind of fine tune and roll out the project to the state, and then to hopefully to the world. But yeah.
well, I really appreciate you sharing that with the audience and us. One thing that inspires me about the Parkinson's community is new, innovative, and different things. And when I saw that on one day a few months ago, LinkedIn, and that's the study we're doing. I play guitar my whole life, but you don't hear harmonica talked about a lot. And it's, I think anything out there that's unique and that can help the Parkinson's community is just life changing, and commend you and thank you for that research. Wonder if you're going to go to each instrument next after the harmonica. Next will be a guitar or trombone. Well, I appreciate it. And how long do you think till that research might be open for the public?
So so the way we did 3 months, we did pre-testing in December. We did 3 months of lessons twice a week for our harmonica group, and then we have a control group. So the harmonica group just finished up, and we're doing the post-testing next week, and then the groups are going to cross over. So we wanted the control group to have access to the lessons, and then so we should wrap everything up by July, August. We've already hired a biostatistician. She's going to run the numbers for the first 3 months, and yeah, so we'll have it this year. Meanwhile, I've been working on a kind of a work in progress as we've been doing the lessons, is a manual, and so we'll have of all the lessons. So it's something that a group leader could take, and we're gonna go. I'm looking looking at trying to get some studio time too, because what I want to do is go into a studio and record all the lessons. So we would have just this perfect program in the box that anybody could teach. And that's the cool thing about the harmonica. It's a cheap instrument, relatively cheap instrument. You can carry, I've got one here. You can carry it around, and it's just, yeah, it's just, I think it's just going to be a perfect. I think it's going to be a very, very good thing. You don't need any music talent to do it, right? So in this group, I think I had one musician in my first group, and but they all learned how to play harmonica. We just start from the beginning, and we keep it fun. And it's, yeah, but anybody can learn it, and giving the gift of music is, I tell you, that's powerful too, and they're all creating, I think the mean age is probably 72 in my group, and they're all like learning and laughing and making music. So it's clearly a kind of beautiful thing.
I'll throw it to Glenn for any follow-ups. I just bought a harmonica. I should have brought it on the show today.
I left mine back in home. Yeah. So yeah, that was my next question, Kevin, was that how are the people enjoying it? I mean, most people that go through clinical trials or through any kind of trials like this, they're not that much fun per se. So, you're talking about how much fun they have. Are they going to be musician studio ready? Are they going to be in the shower only? How good are they now with the harmonica?
So this is a kind of a cool thing too that I didn't mention, and I didn't really plan it this way, but it just made sense. Is that the spouses and partners are welcome to join in the lessons, because we want them to play together. And so, the study groups, we have 13 in the control group and 13 in a harmonica group, but I have about 20 people on the Zoom call, because I have spouses and they're playing together, right? So that's pretty cool. They all have gotten better, and at the end of this, they were kind of bummed that it's ending, because it's kind of they've been. I would say of the 13, 11 of them haven't missed a single. There's 24 sessions, right? It's a commitment, right? 2 times a week for 3 months. 11 of the 13 have 100% attendance. So what we talked about doing afterwards, I said, I want you to continue, but I've got to do the new group, and they were so bummed. So what we ended up doing is we're going to do a once a month kind of class to keep them going, and then till we finish the study, and then we'll have a full blown maybe every other weweek that anybody can join in. But I'll tell you, some of them have really gotten good, and some of them are they're still having fun, so there's this disparity in it, but everybody's able to play. And the cool thing about harmonica is, as long as you're all have the same key, right? So for our classes, we're using the key of C. You can't sound bad. You're blowing in the C harmonica. You're playing the C notes. It blends in. You can't sound bad. So I play the ukulele for, we're learning songs that I have kind of my standards to teach people. And then, and I'm like, well, you guys can throw in your own secret sauce. What do you want to learn? So some of the songs that are going to be in the book or in the program that we're going to roll out are songs that the group wanted to learn. And so, What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong is one of those. Somebody wanted to learn Neil Young, Heart of Gold, which was kind of challenging. We're working on that one. So so they kind of made it their own, which is kind of fun. So yeah.
No Piano Man?
Yeah, no piano. We did Piano Man because of the iconic. Yep, we've done piano, and actually they crushed that. They did great with it. So
it's amazing to see how many effects music can have. My mother had music therapy, and even if it took her away from the disease for a moment, that was really what meant the world to all of us. And like you mentioned, caregivers wanted also to share for a moment. A lot of research. I hope to see yours out there soon. But the effects of music, different studies out there on motor skills, on non-motor symptoms of patients with Parkinson's. There's a lot of research out there and data that everyone, I'll add this to the show notes, but you can look up if you didn't know that things like music also can play a pivotal role in slowing and changing the progression really of Parkinson's. A lot of people today seem to base a lot of this, on sports and how important sports is, but they tend not to realize that music is also such a big factor. So wondering, in your career, since you've been doing this so long, is there a moment or one moment that kind of, stands out through all of your advocacy so far?
Oh boy, boy.
We ask the
Um,
hard hitting questions here on the show.
no, I got to tell you that what really gives me joy or just is satisfying is that the class that we started for exercise and the Windward YMCA where I work out, that it's perpetuating at a large scale here in Hawaii. And I used to coach, my kids are adults now. But when you coach kids and then they grow up and every time you go in the grocery store, they come up to you or, like, hey, hey, Coach Kevin, and they're young adults. I get that. I see just all these people in the community, going to the exercise program. I still work out at the YMCA and I just makes me smile every time I go on the Monday, Wednesday when they do the class to see like all those people in there moving around. It's still happening. So I guess that's satisfying. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that it's all just everybody has their different gifts, and if everybody applies them, it's what a difference collectively we can make in all aspects. So.
Thanks. Glenn?
So Kevin, what's next on your to-do list for people with Parkinson's here in Hawaii?
Well, I want to get the harmonica study completed, and then I want to complete the manual. Next thing is trying to figure out how to finance and get into a studio and get edited videos. So I'm going to need 24 edited lessons to correspond with the manual. So that's kind of the next project, but that's fun. I mean, I like the writing and I like doing that kind of creative stuff. It's kind of turning into a family project. My son has a degree in illustration. And he's trying to launch his career, so he's doing all the illustrations for the book. And then my nephew is graduated from film school and editing. And so once I can get into a studio, I'm going to have him do all the editing. So it'll be kind of a family project, which is but that's kind of exciting for me too. But that's the next thing, and that's probably going to take me a good part of this year to get that out. And then after that, who knows? I'll just have to see see what life throws.
One aspect of the show is how important Parkinson's awareness is from Hawaii to Florida, but also around the world. And I hope your study obviously goes around the world. What can everyone listening do to help support you to get this out, not just in Hawaii, but really worldwide? Is there anything listeners can do, or how can we bring more awareness to this important topic?
I think just once we get it out, it's just to help share, the program and or to let people know that it's out there, right? So we don't want to be a best kept secret, and I know it's just such a small little subject number that we're doing, 26 people. But man, I'm seeing 26 smiles, and ongoing, and just to help spread the word once we get it out. We'll figure out how to do that. But through social media, we'll just try to get the word out. So right now, we want to put out a solid, very high level evidence-based project, and then we'll definitely need the world to help to help spread it. Yeah. Well, I'll be bugging you, George, once we get it out.
Never bugging me. I'm always happy to help. And to our listeners, please share this, support all that Glenn does and Kevin and everyone out there because we're all family in this. I wanted to send it to Glenn for some kind of closing remarks, but I always say, obviously, the show will end just today, but it has to be continued because until this study is around the world and help improving the lives of those battling Parkinson's today, caregivers, and until the cure is at everybody's doorsteps around the world, we just have to keep this conversation going. It's really been an honor, Kevin, to have you, and I still continue to learn from you, and honored to work side by side on this and so much more. But I wanted to again send the show to Glenn for any closing remarks.
Yeah, I just want to thank Kevin for coming on the show this morning, and also just I was just thinking about this. Wouldn't it be awesome if we had, if this study is successful, and I know it will be, if we could have like the musicians that are doing this project here be background music for like Linda Ronstadt, Neil Diamond, Ozzy Osbourne, just artists who have Parkinson's, and get them back into performing again, because I think that would be an incredible experience. So that's just my grand vision, Kevin. You know I'm full of grand visions, among other things. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, Kevin, for being here, for all that you do for the Parkinson community in Hawaii. Truly appreciate what you do, and love you, and love all your work that you do for us. So thank you.
Thank you for your kind words.
Yeah, we have also the birds are in the show today.
Yeah.
You want to hear the harmonica, and maybe we'll have another follow-up show when the study's out, and we'll all have our own harmonicas. And you actually just put a lot of pressure on Kevin. You want them to perform on stage as I'm a legend, so no pressure. But I appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin, and thanks, Glenn. Of course, we'll be back with you, everyone, next month for another episode. But this has been another episode of Parkinson Coast to Coast with Glenn and George. Remember, Hawaii to Florida, Parkinson's awareness worldwide doesn't rest until we find a cure at everybody's doorsteps around the world. So we both send our love and support to you all, and just so grateful for the opportunity to bring this show to you today. It's Parkinson's Awareness Month 2025, and we'll have many more, but I'd rather find a cure, and we need everybody in this fight. We're a family, have to be, and whether again from Hawaii to Florida, you can see we're all advocating 24/7, and so grateful again, Kevin, for your friendship, your time. And I'm so excited too for the future as a researcher myself to see. The second I heard harmonic, I'm like, it hit like a light bulb hit me. I'm like, wow, I've never seen this. And that's what drives me to want to keep advocating, even though unfortunately I lost my mother due to PD. People ask me, why do you still do this? Well, there's still people I consider family like Glenn and everyone listening who are still battling this disease. But the harmonica study is something I feel personally is just truly inspiring and incredible, and we got to get it to the world. So thanks everyone again for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Aloha.